All right. We're going to take first question over here on this corner on one. In the gray jacket. Yep.
Iron Patton, OKC Sports Radio. Shai, you've been a champion for about, 45 minutes. Does it feel as good as you thought it would feel? Just your thoughts.
Yeah, feels amazing. So much weight off my shoulders. So much stress relieved. Like, no matter what, like, you go into every night wanting to win, and sometimes it just doesn't go your way. And tonight could have been one of those nights, but we found a way. I'm so proud of this group. I wouldn't have rather done it with any other group in the world. It feels good to be a champion.
Jenny over here.
Hey, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. You have some of the most unassuming leaders at the top, whether it's Clay or Sam or Mark. I watched Mark just standing at the back of the podium or the stage there, watching everybody else. What's it like to be led by those three guys and see them celebrating tonight?
Yeah, I'm so happy for them. They put in so much work behind the scenes that not everybody sees. Don't always get the credit, but they've done an amazing job of building an environment, a winning environment. And it's no fluke why we're here and why we have so much success and why we've grown so quickly. Those guys have done a great job of just giving us a platform to be ourselves and be great. We did so.
Tim?
Shai, it's a real short list of guys who've won MVP and Finals MVP in the same season. You add the scoring title in there, that list gets even shorter. Now that you guys have crossed the finish line, are you able to wrap your head around that historic company that you've joined?
Yeah, it's hard to believe that I'm part of that group. It's hard to even fathom that I'm that type of basketball player sometimes. As a kid, you dream, and every kid dreams, but you don't ever really know if it's going to come true. And I'm just glad and happy that my dreams have been able to come true, and that's a thank you to everyone that's been in my corner that's helped me get here. I wouldn't be able to do it without them. They know exactly who they are. So, yeah, it's a win for the family.
Ramona on the right.
Shai, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. You guys obviously faced some elimination games throughout this playoff run. There were moments when you admitted we sucked tonight, we didn't get it done. How did you guys push through those moments at such a young age here?
We prioritize winning. We don't prioritize anything else in this game. We want to win, and we want to win on the highest level. And that looks like something new every night, every opponent, every arena. And that's all we focused on this whole season, no matter if it was game 1, game 45, or game 105. We prioritized winning, and because we did so, we won on the highest level.
Fifth row in the back, towards center.
Jordan Davis with Oklahoma. Shai, obviously, you had the moment with Halliburton after his injury. I mean, what can you just say about, the competitor in that team and him as well? What did you say to him in that moment?
Yeah, I just asked him if he was all right. It seemed like he was in pain. You just hate to see it in sports in general, but in this moment, like, my heart dropped for him. Like, I couldn't imagine playing the biggest game of my life and something like that happening. It's so unfortunate. It's not fair. But competition isn't fair sometimes. But, yeah, I just felt so bad for him. And just asked if he was okay. Obviously, he wasn't. But prayers go out to him for sure. Hell of a player. Future's bright. That team's going to be really good for a long time. Yeah, impressive team, impressive player. I wish them the best of luck.
Fred over here, second row.
Shai, you had so many big moments throughout the series, 15 and 5 minutes in Game 4, and even the second half tonight just as a distributor. I'm curious where your late game composure comes from. I mean, was that something you felt like happened when you were younger? Is that something that happened as you got older? Where did that come from?
Yeah, it's something that I definitely got as I've gotten older. Coaches worked with me on that a lot over the past three or 4 years, just as the group has continued to grow. Something that I still can be better at, but yeah, it's an emphasis of mine. Those are the minutes, those are the moments when the best players, the biggest stars, the superstars, the Hall of Fame players make their name, and I want to have that name. I want to have those titles attached to my name. So those moments, those minutes are very important to me, and I try to excel in them for sure.
Tim in the back center.
Tim Reynolds with the AP. Shai, when you're only 20 minutes removed from winning it, so it's kind of crazy. But has the realization hit you yet that you guys might be here for a while, that you guys might be competing for a few of these things, just the way this thing is built and how young you guys are?
Yeah, like you said, I haven't even thought that far ahead. But yeah, we definitely still have room to grow, and that's the fun part of this. So many of us can still get better. There's not very many of us on the team that are quote unquote in our prime, or even close to it. So we have a lot of room to grow individually and as a group, and I'm excited for the future of this team. But this is a great start for sure. Couldn't imagine it any other way.
Barry, straight ahead.
Yeah, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. Shai, you talked about the history that you personally made, but the team also had an historic season. Doesn't matter if you don't win tonight, all that history doesn't matter. But you did. How much pride or what stock you put in, not just the championship, but the way you guys played all season, and really, one of the great seasons in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, it was impressive. But I think the most impressive part is like the group that did it. Our togetherness on and off the court, like how much fun we have. It made it so much easier, and it made it feel like we were just kids playing basketball. It was so fun. Like it's all the achievements and the accolades and things, like they don't even come close to like the satisfaction of like just winning with your brothers and people that you are so close to and want to succeed just as much as you want yourself to succeed. So that's been the most impressive and most fun part of it. Just to know that I have 15 brothers that I just experienced a once-in-a-lifetime experience with, and I'll never forget them. They'll never forget me.
Valencia.
Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Congratulations, Shai. You've mentioned how much fatherhood means to you. When your little one gets older and starts to accomplish their goals, what will you tell them about the sacrifices it takes to reach such a height?
Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice. But ultimately, it's your choice. It's your life. If you want something, go get it. You can if you want it. And it's that simple. You might not always get the results you want, but all you can control is going after it and giving it your all and see where that takes you. That's all I did.
Over here.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Shai, you guys win the title. You get through some big 21 seasons that people, I think, overlook. Some different injuries to yourself, Chad and others. What does it mean? How much sweeter does it make it to sort of get through all those things and be in for the long haul?
Yeah, it feels great. It just goes to show, like, when you prioritize the right things, when you have good intentions, good people around you, anything's possible. And throughout this whole process, Sam has done a really good job of just, like, being honest and upfront, not only myself, but the rest of the group. 3 years ago, like, he came into the room and said, I think this is just when Chet got hurt in the summertime. And he was like, all the noise is that we're going to tank again because Chet lost. Because Chet got hurt. And he said, like, our destiny is what we make it, and no one else can control that. And that message, like, struck with me ever since that. Like, we can do whatever we want to do out there, just like how we've all got to the NBA, no matter what anybody says, no matter who's hurt or who's not. And I think that talk is stuck in my head, and I think a few of the other guys as well, and it's a big part of why we're here.
Second row on the right.
Hi, Shai. Leandro Sarhan from ESPN Brazil. Congrats on the title, the Finals MVP. You had 12 assists today, your playoff career high. How much pride do you take in that, getting your teammates involved, and how important do you think that was for you guys to accomplish your goal?
Yeah, coming off of Game 6, I obviously had a lot more turnovers than assists. That's not a recipe for a win, and I wanted to do whatever it took tonight to get a win. So whether that was me playing in space or it was them not letting me play in space and some of my teammates open, just trying to make the right basketball play, do whatever it takes to win at the end of the night, and I got enough done.
All right, thank you. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. You're good. The microphone is or the chair. Take questions. We got microphones around the room. First question, back right on 1, 5th row on the aisle or so.
Calico, The Athletic. Lou, it seems like all year, over here, Lou. It seems like all year, Coach used a strategy of using 4 guards and a big, and it seemed like to work all year defensively. Why do you think that was so successful, just having like the 4 guards and a big, on the floor?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team and they got great players, and I feel like we was just trying different stuff to mess them up and then to disturb them. We threw them a lot of different. We threw them a lot of defense, different defensive stuff, and then we were just trying to slow them down, and then coach did a good job in just making us switch it here. I got you. Yeah, I'll put it on after though. Yeah, all right, let me do my interviews.
Jenny over here.
Hey, Lou, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. I didn't figure he was going to give that thing up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's heavy.
Hey, Mark defers a lot to you guys when it comes to why you guys have been successful, but as I watched him watching you guys tonight, kind of talk me through just his role in getting you guys to this point and just what you feel like his biggest impacts were for you guys.
He's been huge. I mean, from the beginning. I've been here for 6 years, and then, he always, taught me to play the game the right way. And then, in those type of runs in the playoffs, there's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of ups and downs. So, he's been good at, keeping us together. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if we want to achieve something like that, we got to do it together. And then he did a great job of that.
Right here in the middle. Valencia King, Real Talk Sports 1, congratulations to you, Lou.
Thank you.
Secondly, I see you with the flag. Talk to me about what it means to represent not just you, your family, your heritage, your everything.
It means a lot. This my people right there. Those are my flags, Canada and Haiti. I was born in Canada, but, my parents immigrated from Haiti, and then, I'm always grateful and proud to represent them at this biggest stage. I mean, Haiti has been through a lot, and then, I'm happy to be a Haitian here at the biggest stage, being a champion now. For sure, yeah. I mean, it's possible, and they got to believe. If you asked me, 10, 15 years ago, if I knew I was going to be here, not at all, no chance. But I just had to believe and work on my game and really trust in the process. And then, if they do that, they have a chance.
Left side over here. Go ahead.
Jerry Ramsey, 107.7 The Franchise. Lou, a long way from the bubble and that first kind of playoff run that you guys made to just right now. Do you really have time to take a breath and kind of reflect of that team now all the way, and you get the big old ball next year?
Yeah. I probably need some more time to think about that, but it's crazy. I mean, looking back to my first year, I went undrafted. 6 years ago now, June 19 was the draft, and then that week was probably the worst week of my life. And you look now, June 22nd, 2025. I'm a champion now, so like it's crazy when how I circle back, and then I had to trust the process and how this organization gave me a great opportunity, and then I'm grateful and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Lou. We have Jalen coming right up.
It's good seeing you on the other end. It's going to be a way different interview.
Up front on 1 in the middle.
Yeah, no, it looks stupid. I seen it from right there.
Joe, first question on the right.
Jalen, you sat up there yesterday.
Yeah.
We were talking to you about the history and appreciating the moment. You said you couldn't go there unless you got the outcome that you wanted. So now that you got the outcome that you wanted, are you able to sort of process like where you are in this time in history?
Nope. No, not at all. I actually just had my first drink, so I'm like working on that. I think in a couple days I'll be able to like come back down to earth a little bit. But right now I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. God's been extremely good to me. So I've definitely felt that. Like coming off the court, just a lot of trials and tribulations just throughout my career, a lot of things that I don't speak on. He's been very good to me. So that was the one thing I reflected on so far. And then I had alcohol. So, yeah, pushing through that.
On the right.
Myron Patton, OKC Sports Radio. You guys have had some big third quarters before, but Halliburton had hit that three right at the end of the first half. What was said at halftime, considering it was an NBA final?
Oh, Nembhard hit the three.
Was it Nembhard? Okay,
Yeah.
Nembhard hit the three, yeah. But, no, what was the conversation at halftime for you guys to come out and force 7 turnovers, 18 points off of that, and really take control of the game?
First, I want to say I hope Tyrese is okay. I haven't, like, looked at my phone or anything to, like, see what the thing is. Obviously, that changes the outcome of the game a little bit, or just changes, like, the dynamic of the game. So going into halftime, a lot of it was, like, not letting up because he's not playing. And then, two, just don't panic. Like, when you're that close to a goal, you got to understand, like, the other team is feeling the same way we are, and I think that gave us a lot of confidence to go out there and just play through, like, being nervous and damn, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Like, in halftime, like, obviously Halliburton not being there, like, just trying, like, keep doing the things that were, like, getting us there all season. So playing hard defensively, trying to get stops, taking it one possession at a time. And then just as the game started to wind down a little bit, it's easy to take your foot off the gas and not pay attention. So we did a good job of, like, course correcting the first half. And I thought our defense was actually pretty good the first half, too. So just trying to, like, maintain our energy throughout the whole game.
Jenny over here.
Jalen, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Talk me through those last few moments on the court for you. You went down to the far end by yourself. What was sort of going through your mind? And then to walk off, you and Mark had a long hug, I assume, sort of. You spoke very passionately about his role for you yesterday. Just kind of talk me through that whole sequence for you.
It's a blur. Like I said earlier, I was just, like, very blessed to be in this situation. So a lot of that emotion definitely hit me a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff that I don't really speak on, like everybody in the room. So it's just a lot of the emotions from that kind of hit me to be able to, like, push through. And coming from not being known in college to 4 years later being an NBA champion and having, like, an impact on a championship team is God's gift for sure. So it's been really cool to get that. So that was like a rush of emotion. And then I looked up, I messed up and looked up, and my mom was crying in the stands, and then that made me start tearing up a little bit. So that too kind of was some of the rush of the emotion.
Fred over here, second row.
Jalen, you keep looking at that trophy in the middle of all your answers. When it was first handed to you, what is that moment of literally holding that trophy that you've heard about your whole life for the first time?
Well, it's heavy.
Heavier than expected?
Honestly, the other one I think is, like, actually heavier than this one, I think. So that was cool. It doesn't feel real. Like, everything, like, the last, like, minute and a half of the game didn't feel like I was there anymore. It kind of just felt like I left my body a little bit and, like, just watched myself, like, get it and do that whole thing. It still doesn't feel real. And I'm just kind of, like, starting to try and, like, think back to the beginning of the season, and it just feels like a complete blur up until this point. But just looking at it right now is, like, it's very, like, weird. It's a little, like, humbling, I think. Just have a lot of emotions with it. It does not feel real at all.
Second row on the right.
Justin Martinez, the Oklahoman. Dub, you've always been someone who's prioritized team success. Before tonight, you're one of the few guys on the team who didn't have a championship of some sort at some level. Just sorry to throw that out there, but what does that mean to you now to have something like this after all the individual sacrifices to add to your trophy case?
It's a good first one. Yeah, like I said, it's just coming into the NBA, I really wanted to win. Oh, okay. What's up?
Isaiah Hartenstein from iHeartMedia. How does it feel to win your first championship?
Actually, you know what's crazy? He low-key asked me the same question.
Well, I'm asking you again. I didn't get on record.
Okay, well, I'll answer for both of you. Yeah, like you said, like, being close a couple times in high school, and then in college we were never close. I thought that was pretty cool. My fault. Like I said, it's surreal. It's a blessing. It's great to be able to win it with idiots like Hart. It's cool. But yeah, it's just a lot of like sacrifices. Everybody makes sacrifices on the team, so mine aren't like super special, but it's just dope to be able to do it more so with like this group that I consider family. And just like I've been super fortunate to like be around them. And like the way we hit it off my first year as a group is just special, and to like maintain that through 3 years to win with them is something I couldn't have dreamed of, something I didn't think would happen when I first got in the NBA. So it's been really cool.
Thank you. Thanks, Jalen.
Yeah. Oh, I got you. I always answer your last one. Definitely raised in like a God first household, so that was big for me. Kind of leaning into that. You got to trust a lot that goes into that. So I've leaned on that for sure. Me and my parents have a great relationship, so I'm super fortunate to have that. I know a lot of people don't have that, and I don't take it for granted. So I always cherish that. Me and my brother are about as close as it gets. My friends. I just have I'm very fortunate to have the support group that I have, and then I've talked about like me writing too. I think that's really helped too. Just being able to like write my thoughts and clear my mind has been big. So when you add all that together, I've been able to push through a lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Jalen. Isaiah will be right up. No. Yeah. John. No, Mike.
Ask me some questions, all right? Yeah. All right. What's up, y'all? It's my nephew, Sean. Sean, say hi. Let's get it.
Jenny here in the second row.
Isaiah, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. 2 questions. Just talk me through the emotions of this moment. And then can you talk a little bit about Mark as well? I mean, he defers to you guys a lot when we ask him why you guys have been so good, so quick, all those sorts of things. Just your feeling about his role and his fingerprints on this.
I think the first thing is gratitude. I think it's a privilege to be in these situations. It's a privilege to feel this pressure. And so now to get it done, the emotions you can't really describe. And yeah, I mean, I think all of us on our team has been through certain struggles. And so now to be here together, something really special. And man, you can't say enough about Mark, man. I mean, from the first day I got here, the way he approaches each day. I mean, even this short time, he's meant a lot to me. Whenever I had questions, he was always there for me. He's very stoic in a sense, and so I think that helped us all kind of stay through the ups and downs in the playoffs. We all stayed similar, and so I think he's amazing. He's also an amazing person off the court. He really cares. He really cares about us. I mean, it's like little details. When we bring our kids around, he's the first one to interact with them. If you have any problems off the court, he's always open to talk to you. So, yeah, he's really special, even a short time to me.
Myron up front.
Myron Patton, OKC Sports Radio. Take me back when Sam and whoever to talk to you about coming to Oklahoma City. Yeah. I'm sure championship came up, and now you actually get it done. You're part of it, just everything. It's been about.
I know they were probably pissed a little bit at the beginning because my agent told them I was in Houston. So they were going to fly to Houston first. It was like an hour flight. And then I told my agent, no, I'm in Eugene, Oregon. So I kind of added, I think, like 4 more hours to their flight. So, yeah, I mean, for them to even come out all the way out to Eugene to sit down with me, to show the interest they had in me, but also how they wanted to help me get better. Yeah, a lot of gratitude for Sam. believing in me and giving me a chance to be in this situation. And, yeah, just grateful.
Barry in the middle.
Yeah, Barry Trammell, Tulsa World. Isaiah, you talked about the pressure, privilege, all that kind of stuff. How much pressure did you guys feel in comparison to what Indiana felt? Nobody expected them to be here. They seemed to be playing with house money. You guys had the historic season. Big disappointment if you don't win. How much pressure did you guys feel as a team to win this title, not just for yourselves, but to validate what you'd accomplished to this point?
I mean, I think you can look at it a different way. I think throughout the season, you all always heard we're too young, we're not experienced enough. When we had a great season is when the playoffs are going to start. We haven't gone through enough to get here. And so I think the Pacers and us are kind of similar in that sense where the world kind of doubted us for a sec. And, yeah, I think we just proved that we wanted it more. And I think, again, a lot of respect for the Pacer team. I think they did an amazing job. I think Rick, their coach, did an amazing job. Just his in-game adjustments, how he approached each game, and so there's a lot of respect to them too.
Fred, second row here.
Matthew. His name is not Fred. His name is Matthew. It's a cover-up name.
Thank you for that.
No
I would
problem.
say congratulations, but
I don't want it from you anyway.
I don't
so.
know if I'd mean it. This was your first season playing with Shai, and you
Yeah.
played with a lot of really, really good players and
Yeah.
a bunch of different teams. Shai has had so many moments late in games where he just seems totally unfazed by the
Yeah.
moment. What's your perspective of his composure? Where does that come from? How's that trickle down to the rest of the team?
I think he has a unique mindset. I think he gives us a lot of confidence, just how, I mean, like we say all season, he's always 0 and 0. I don't think he ever gets too high, he gets too low. A great leader on and off the court. But then he also puts the work in. I mean, if you see him on a daily basis, the work he puts in on and off the court, the way he leads. I mean, yeah, like you said, I've been with a lot of players, I've been with a lot of superstars, but just how egoless he is really makes him special. And, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have thought it when I played with him in the Nike Hoop Summit that he would be now MVP, Finals MVP. And so, again, you used to have to respect his work ethic for sure.
Tanya?
On the orange, she's been raising her hand all the time. Yeah, Sean. She asked how you doing.
How are you feeling? I'm Valencia. How are you feeling?
Good. And it happened years ago.
Oh, too much? Okay. Okay, we'll do the post interview.
Good job.
Great job, Sean. Isaiah, thank you for your time and congratulations again. I really just want to know, since you brought out Sean with you,
Yeah.
when times get hard and he's out there trying to accomplish his goals, what advice will you give him about reaching it to the top?
Think just staying in the present moment. I think that's the biggest thing. I think I've been through so many ups and downs in my career. I think when you get too far ahead or too far back in life, that's kind of when your emotions get too much. And so I think just staying present, working as hard as you can, and just knowing that there's going to be times where everything doesn't work out, but I think everything happens for a reason. I don't think I would change my career for anything, and I think that helped me in moments like these, for sure.
Tanya here.
Isaiah, Tanya Gunguli, New York Times. What was the celebration like when you guys got to the locker room? Because when we got there, there weren't bottles being popped like you normally see. Do we miss that? And how much?
I mean, first of all, none of us knew how to do it, so it was more like like those like YouTube tutorials, and so we were just asking AC how to do it, and so it was a kind of not really in sync because no one knew how to do it, but yeah, shout out to AC for kind of teaching us how to pop champagne, I guess.
Tim, last one, back right.
Tim Reynolds, AP, all the way in the middle. Isaiah. What's up, bro? You seriously didn't know how to open a champagne bottle?
No. I mean, when I won in Lithuania, they just drank hard tequila, so it was just hard liquor straight. So yeah, we had to learn from AC. And here's my other son. It's my big son right here. But yeah, I mean, AC did a great job giving us a tutorial, and so yeah, we're grateful for him. And so,
I had a real non-alcoholic question as well. You guys, you won 84 games.
Yeah.
Only 2 teams have won more than that. You guys scored more points in a season than any team in NBA history.
Yeah.
And you're the youngest champion in half a century. How real is it to think that this could just be the start of something really, really good for you guys?
I mean, that's a hard question. I think, again, yeah, well, we're going to go have some fun, but I think we have a good chance. But, again, you always have to prove it again. I mean, if we get, let's say the next season starts, training camp, everything's 0-0. It doesn't matter what you did the year before. But I think we have a good group of guys. But first we're gonna focus on having a little fun and going from there. Everyone, Chet Holmgren, enjoy.
Thank you.
No, that's his. That's his.
One back row towards the middle on the right. First question on that 6th row on the right.
Caligo, the Athletic. Chet, it seems like this team gets super aggressive defensively when it's you or Isaiah and then 4 guards. Why do you think that formula has been so successful all season long?
I'd say it's all about trade-offs. As many compliments as I have for myself and Hart, we don't move our feet quite like some of these guards. The guards that we have are special on defense with their ability to climb up in the ball, play the passing lanes, really, cover distance, cover ground quickly. So when you have an extra person out there doing that, we're able to kind of really turn up the heat. I'd say, yeah, and it's all about trade-offs. You're a little less adept on the glass when you're small, a little less rim protection out there. But the trade-off is you can play the passing lanes, you can climb up and pressure people more. So we saw it tonight. We saw how special our guys are on defense, and I'm just so happy we were able to win.
Jenny, 2nd row.
Hey, Chet. Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Before the final buzzer, I saw you go over and hug Clay. Talk to me about his role in all of this, but also Mark's role. He so much gives you guys all the credit, but I'm curious if you just talk about his fingerprints on this championship.
And I would say 3 of the biggest people in all this is Mark, Clay, and Sam. I'm not out there on the floor if those 3 don't believe in me. So, as much as this was for myself, teammates, everybody else, it was for those 3. They believed in me from the moment that they drafted me. And, I just really wanted to I don't even know the words. I really just wanted to, I guess, make them proud or validate their belief in me. And this isn't the end of the road. We have a long ways to go as a team, and everybody understands that. But this is a huge moment for everybody here, the city, the fans, Clay, Sam, Mark, all the players, the support staff, and I'm just so happy for everybody that we can kind of share this moment together.
Right here in the front.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Chet, a few years ago, you did an interview with GQ about 10 things you can't live without, and you had the champagne goggles was one of the things. You said you were big into manifesting. What was it like to sort of break those out finally?
I haven't broke them out yet. I brought them to India and we lost, so I left them at home. So you will see me with those on at the parade. But for now, I got my Michelob Ultra joints, and these work more than fine. So we did it.
Anthony on the right, 4th row.
To your right. How would you just describe your season? You missed half of it with an injury that we've talked about before. This, kind of the struggles of getting through that and it capping off this way.
Oh, it was a lot. It doesn't even, it feels like before I got hurt, feels like a whole different season. It was so long ago. We've been at this since October. You know, I really didn't take any breaks last summer. So, like, other than like a weekend vacation, like I'm doing my thing. And it's just been so much leading up to this. And I'm proud of the guys for holding it down. You know, when I was hurt, you know, I got to give big props to Big Heart and especially Jay Will. You know, they came in and held things down when I was hurt. Didn't, you know, it's almost like we didn't skip a beat. And, you know, a lot of things changed for them personally, individually when I came back. So I have to give them all the credit in the world because, you know, they never expressed any sour feeling about it. They never stepped outside of the team about it. They were all in no matter what it took. And, you know, I'm just so happy to have guys like that, you know, in our big man room that are so selfless. And back to my injury, it sucked. You know, if you told me that this would be the end point when I got hurt, it'd be easy not to quit. But this isn't guaranteed. That's why only one team gets to do it every year. So I'm just, I'm so happy I didn't quit. There were a lot of nights, you know, where I was out there on willpower and anti-inflammatories, and so I'm just so happy I didn't quit, and we made it. We did it. You know, I have a long summer of getting my body right again, and man, a lot of emotions.
Fourth row on the left.
Chet, Shai's just had an incredible season this season. You basically got to be a fly on the wall, locker room, going to all the games, playing with him and that stuff. Can you just take time right now at the end of the season and talk about how impressive it was to play this season with Shai?
At the end of the day, that's going to go down in history as one of the greatest seasons that's ever been had by a player. You know, it's amazing to be a part of that, to witness somebody going through it and succeeding in so many different ways. But, you know, he really makes it a joy to be around. It's never about him. It's always about us. It's always about winning. And his talent shines through all that. And we saw that all year. He's a hell of a basketball player, but he's an even better person. You know, I'm proud to call him my teammate, proud to call him my friend, and you know, I'm so happy that we were able to put a shiny cap on what he did this year.
Howard over here on the left.
Howard Beck from the Ringer over here. Chet, you guys are one of the youngest teams I think even ever to get here, much less to win it. And as young as you are, I know this just happened, but can you allow yourselves to think about what this can become in the years to come?
As cool as this is, tomorrow we got to wake up and start getting ready for training camp next year. Like, no, bro, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a great night in OKC. I'm going to be back to work in a few days when I get my stuff together and get back home, but I'm not thinking about any of that right now.
Over in the center, Valencia.
A fun one for you. Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. One, congratulations. I normally talk to you guys about your pregame playlist. What's going to be on your championship playlist?
Oh, no, honestly. Don't give me Ox tonight. I'm not going to be in the right mind space to be responsible for the Ox. We let D. Jones take over. Yeah, he does a good job. Shout out D. Jones.
On your right.
Guilherme Saco from ESPN Brazil. Chat, congratulations on the championship. You had 5 blocks today, most in a Game 7 in finals history.
That surprised me.
How does it feel to know that from now on, every time that people talk about the biggest game in basketball, that's Game 7 of the finals, your name's on the record books?
Honestly, I never really play for records. I never play for stats. All that'll be forgotten. But us winning is forever. It's immortal. I'm just so happy we were able to do that together as a team. But I am surprised that 5 blocks is the most in a Game 7. I guess there haven't been that many Game 7s. But I don't know. I feel like I could have had more tonight. Could have been better there, but we won, so that's all that matters.
Anyone else with a final question? Barry in the middle.
You talked about Barry Trammell from the Tulsa World. You talked about Shai being a historical type player, historical season. Your team had one too. Great regular season record, point differential, all that kind of stuff. But you needed a victory tonight to cap it off, or nobody cares. How much pressure was on you guys to just validate what you'd worked really since September to and achieved?
I mean, there's always pressure. You know, when you lose in the playoffs, even if you just lose one game, it's the end of the world. You know, the whole team's on the trade block, and you know, it's just how it goes. And when you win, it's the greatest thing ever, even when you haven't won the championship yet. So at the end of the day, winning is what's remembered. It's what's immortal. I'm just so happy we were able to do it. Happy for the guys. There was so much hard work that a lot of people don't see that went into this. Years of hard work for everybody that led up to this. So it makes it all worthwhile. It makes it all... you know, it's just a great feeling. But, yeah, it would have sucked to lose that game.
Thank you. Alex will be up next, followed by Coach.
Everybody.
Thank you. One back right on the aisle.
Most excited I've been to do media in such a long time.
First question, back right, fifth row.
Kelly Eco, The Athletic. Alex, it seems to me like you are the hybrid player in terms of being small enough to be able to hang with other guards defensively, but also being aggressive enough to, you know, attack the passing lanes, and on the offensive side, you know, be able to, like, if you want to slip a screen or attack the paint. Why do you think that works so well in the system with you and Mark?
Yeah, I think just through my career, I figured out that I can do stuff that's not necessarily sexy or not necessarily like the mainstream, you know, offensive skill set or even defensive skill set that people recognize. And I kind of just leaned into it. I kind of practiced being great at the stuff that nobody else does and carving a role for myself in the league. And I think through the years, I've just kind of perfected that stuff.
Tim, all the way in the back.
Alex, Tim Reynolds with the AP. When Isaiah was in here, he revealed that there was some difficulty getting the corks out of the bottles and that you had to do some educating.
Yeah.
Is there any more of a better indicator of how young of a team this really is?
Yeah, and we didn't do it all at the same time until like the third try. I tried my best when we got in there. I was like, all right, let's get a head count. Like, let's make sure everyone's here before we do the first one. And through the learning experience of taking the foil off, undoing the metal, and having the cork ready, there's like 3 or 4 guys that popped their corks, and then it happened again, and we were like, all right, look at Flag's baby. Look at Flag's baby in the back. We went through the process a couple of times, and eventually we got everybody on the same page. But yeah, it was a good first try. You know, we'll get some rest, reset, try to go again next year, and see if we can do it again, and we'll be better. We'll be better next year.
A real question as well, if you don't mind. A championship is a championship, but there were 70 people in the gym when you won your first one.
Yeah.
How much better? Does
Probably
this
like
one
150,
feel?
but
maybe 100, maybe even 200. But
maybe.
How much better does this one feel?
Yeah, now I got a real one. Now nobody can say anything. Yeah, I think just because of the way the team is constructed now versus the team I had in 2020, like it was much harder with this team just because of the experience, right? And everybody talked about you need experience to win a championship, and you need this, that, and the other. And I said multiple times through the postseason with this team that the good basketball is good basketball. Winning basketball is winning basketball. And the best team can win no matter what happens if you go out there and execute and do the stuff that you need to do to win the game. And I think through the playoffs, this team grew up and learned on the fly, which most teams have to learn through losses and learn through defeat. And I think this team learned through success. And it's a unique capability to be able to do that for, 21 to 27-year-old kids. And for me, I've seen greats do it, so I knew the way, I knew the mindset. But to see these guys do it, man, it's really cool to see it in person, and I'm so happy for the guys just to be able to figure it out and to be able to get this done.
Howard on the left.
Howard Beck from The Ringer. Alex, you mentioned being part of one of these before with a veteran team. This is a much younger team, and you also have seen how hard it is
slightly.
to keep a team together and try to make a run. Is it, I know it's just still in the moment, but is it tempting to think about, given the youth and all the development that could still happen here, of how much more could be ahead of this team, how much more success?
Yeah, I mean, at this moment right now, I'm not thinking about much. I'm thinking about succeeding and winning and celebrating with my brothers. But, yeah, I mean, you're not guaranteed anything in the league, and I think that's the biggest thing that happens year to year that people forget about. You have any moment your team can change with a trade, with an injury, with something that's out of your control. To be able to get to the pinnacle of the sport and win it is, nothing short of extraordinary. And to think that you can just walk in and do it every single year is a little bit naive. But rest assured, we'll show up day one next year ready to get better and ready to chase this again.
Again on the left.
Whenever you won in 20, LeBron was the leader of the team and arguably the leader of the NBA at that point. Just talking about Shai and his leadership of this team, can you just talk about, his potential of being someone like a LeBron James that not only could be the leader of a team, a championship team, but eventually the leader of the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, comparing to LeBron is a crazy start just because LeBron was anointed at 18 years old and surpassed everything that has ever been put in front of him. But as far as, face of the league and best player on best team, he's got that capability. I mean, clearly the year he's had, MVP, Western Conference Finals MVP, Finals MVP, champion. I don't think anybody in here would question his ability, and I think the thing that sets him apart is he'll probably be hungry for more. He probably won't be satisfied with just winning this one time. He'll want to do it again. He'll want to be better. He'll want to see how he can tweak and maneuver his game to better fit and take advantage of the way people guard him. And that's just a special ability that he has mentally to be competitive and want to be great.
Jenny?
Alex, Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. Mark might be one of the most even-keeled people on the planet.
Did he smile tonight when he came and talked to y'all?
We haven't seen him yet.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you a report later.
Please do.
But very low-key. Did you see him crack at all? Emotions and all of this? Or did he maintain? And what does that sort of just say about his imprint on this team?
No, I mean, he's, he won Coach of the Year, was it last year, I think? And arguably could have been again this year, but, that's like a year in, year. They don't give that back-to-back to coaches. That's not a thing. Man, his ability to collaborate with his assistants and then come together and have a clear, concise message for us is second to none. He does a great job of pushing buttons when he needs to push buttons. He does a great job of figuring out solutions to problems. And then he does a great job of, holding people accountable, which is a huge thing in the NBA. Because, we talked about Shai's year. He's MVP. He's Finals MVP, all that stuff. And he told him how he needed to play better after Game 6, and he was really sticky, and he needed to move the ball. And Shai had, 12, 13 assists, probably a season high for him. And on top of doing all the stuff that he normally does. And I think that's one of the unique things that Mark brings to, the coaching aspect is just his ability to not really care about quota, his what the status quo is. He's going to coach how he knows to coach, and it's the same way that he coached me when I was on the G League 9 years ago, and that's probably the reason that he's had his success as he has, is he's been true to himself.
Barry, straight ahead.
Tulsa World, you guys played a pretty good defensive first half. You start the second half. Indiana goes 4.5 minutes without scoring. Seemed really out of sorts.
Start the third?
I mean, to start the third quarter, yeah. What did you guys do in that start that second half that really turned up the defensive pressure?
Yeah, I mean, the game just came down to winning coverages and then winning closeouts. I think in the beginning of the game, we did a really good job of closing out to their guys and taking away shots, but then also winning drives, and then got a little loose late first, early second. And then to start the third, we kind of knew what it was. Like, we held them to 48, and Nimhard hit like a 30-foot step back at the half. So, like, you can't be too mad and too upset about defensive intensity and execution in the first half. We knew that it was probably going to be more offensive stuff that was going to open the game up for us. But even saying that, like, our defensive mindset and in just execution, start of the third and then start of the fourth. Like, they were at 68 for a long time, start of the fourth, which gave us that separation, which we've talked about in this series, that they're going to make runs. They're a good team. They don't give up. They play with heart, and they made a run. But we had to score at 20 instead of 10, and so then it wasn't a 1-2 point game. It was still a 10, 11, 12 point game, and I think that's really what gave us that window to win the game.
Last two questions in the center and on the right.
Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Alex, you mentioned a few games ago not to congratulate you earlier, so officially congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course. My question is, we talked to you a lot about your veteranship on this team, but I'm curious, as a veteran, what have you learned throughout this journey from the young guys, whether it's new music, new dance moves, even non-basketball related?
Yeah, no, I'm still pretty in tune with the music. They make TikToks, and I've abstained from that. I might get roped into one of those in the coming days just because of happenstance. But this group has like I talked about it up on the stage after the game. They have a joy about them. They have a unique maturity that comes with a lack of experience that's rare. And I think just being able to show up and everybody accepts everybody for who they are and able to be themselves and really impact the game and impact the team with who they are naturally. It goes a long way, and I think it really helped us through the year and then obviously through the playoffs.
Last question, second row on the right.
Hi, Alex. Leandro Sarhan, ESPN Brazil. A lot of us talked about the full circle moment of you playing the G League for the Thunder and now you're a champion for the team. How much more special does that feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't something that I take for granted. Like multiple times, like after we won, like I'm bouncing, I'm jumping up and down with joy, and it's something that winning a championship is so hard at any level, and especially at the NBA level, because it takes so much. It takes so many different people doing their jobs at a high level, and I'm a very present person, so it's hard sometimes to understand and think back to, like, man, I was in the G League and, like, I wasn't even in the NBA, and I had to go to Summer League, and I had to go to G League elite camps, I had to go to Portsmouth. I had to do all these things just to get, the invitation to get to an NBA team, and then from there I had more work to do, and then from there I had to work for a second contract, and the second contract I had to work to get to a team like this to be a capable winner and champion winner. So it's something that like I said, I don't take for granted, but immense pride. It's something that I'll celebrate with my family and my fiance and my close friends, my agent, like people that have been there with me through the journey, that have seen me through the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. Just people that have really supported me from the start.
Thank you, Alex. Coach will be up next.
congratulating Indiana on a great run and a great season. I have such respect for the way they play, the way they're coached. Prayers to Halliburton, obviously. That was incredibly unfortunate, but I just gained so much respect for them. You just, in the intimacy of a playoff series, you really get to know your opponent, and they are an absolute handful, gave us all we could handle, and I just wanted to congratulate them. And I also want to just take the time to congratulate the city, Mr. Bennett, Sam, the rest of our organization. I'm sure we'll talk about the players, but a group of people that really deserve this, and I'm humbled that I get to be a part of it, and a huge congratulations to all of them.
Jenny, first question.
Hey, Mark. Jenny Carlson with the Oklahoman. After you did your on-stage interview, I watched, and you migrated to the back and just stood and watched things happen. I'm wondering what was going through your mind in those moments.
I'm just so happy for the guys. I mean, this is an uncommon team. This is a great team. You know, all the boxes that this team checked this season, it's a historic team. But there's no guarantee that you end it the way that we did. And so I just wanted it so bad for them. And I was just so thrilled that we were able to get that done, and they get to experience this because they deserve it. You know, the way they approach it, the professionalism, competitiveness, team first nature. Like I said, I wanted it so bad for them.
Front right.
Justin Martinez at the Oklahoman. When you guys were getting presented with the trophy, Shai called Dub a once-in-a-lifetime player. Just what is it about Dub that makes him so special?
I mean, he's got a lot of runway still. You know, he's a young player. He's in his third season, but just the versatility, all the boxes he checks. You know, he's good at everything. There's nothing he can't do on a basketball court, and the cumulative effect of that is he impacts every game and is a great player that is still growing and still improving. But I'm just so impressed by him and what he can do on the court.
Back left.
Mark, whenever you made those hockey line changes at the end, you had an embrace with Alex Caruso. And have you thought about your journey with Alex at all, and kind of where you guys started in the G League and now being NBA champions?
Yeah, that was a time warp. That moment, you know, Dort, you know, he was out here guarding, 50 feet when it was COVID and there were no fans in the stands, and we were winning 20 games. And Shai, NAC, Dub. I mean, just the history that we all have together and the work that we've put in together. We've hung in there together. We've stayed together, the whole team. But yeah, I can't describe it. It was a special moment for me.
Fred.
Mark, you guys had one of the quickest turnarounds in league history. You just mentioned, winning 20 games not that long ago, losing 60-plus, I think, 2 consecutive seasons. What is it about the character of the organization, about the character of the team that allowed you guys to make such a leap so quickly in that time?
I've called the guys uncommon many times, but I really believe that. I mean, just the way they operate, the way they behave, the way they compete is uncommon in professional sports. It just is. And then I also think, the organization's been at it for a long time. And before this build, Mr. Bennett's been here from the jump. Sam's been here from the jump. And those two guys have built a first-class organization, the vision for that, and then the work that's gone into that. Really put the wind at our back when it was time to start, from scratch, really. And, so that was a huge thing. I mean, as young as the team was and as new as everything was, there was so many people from Saint to Donnie Strack to Ayanna to Matt Tumbleson that were in place. Sam, obviously, his group, that, the players were young, but the process and the systems and the environment were seasoned, and that gave us a huge lift. And you add the players we had to that, and that's how I think the speed happened. And good fortune. We got lucky in some ways.
Myron up front.
Myron Patton, OKC Sports Radio. You've had big third quarters before, but this is the finals. What was your conversation at halftime like? Because defensively, you guys really kind of came out really aggressive. They kept calling timeouts, but the avalanche was underway.
Yeah, I mean, you watch any Game 7 of the finals, any Game 7 period, but Game 7 of the finals, it's a different feeling. It's a different level of pressure. The gravity of the game is overwhelming for everybody participating. And I thought, in the first half, you could see that, I think, certainly with us, but with both teams. And, you know, the whole run, I've just tried to help the guys just be who they are. That's all we needed to do, is just be who we are. And I thought the tone at the beginning of the second half with the offensive rebounds, and it set a great tone. And then the offense started to come around. The defense sustained. And obviously that was a huge, huge run for us.
Tim in the back center.
Tim Reynolds with the AP. Mark, I'm going to take a risk and ask you about your least favorite topic, which is yourself. A lot of people have coached this game, and only 8% of them have won a championship. What will this mean to you? What will it mean as far as your journey and the fact that you probably proved a lot of people right and a lot of people wrong along the way? But what will this one mean?
I'm incredibly grateful. I'm grateful to Sam and Mr. Bennett for the opportunity. Grateful to the players, and I just feel such a sense of responsibility when you have a team like this. You know, everyone says, you know, the team's hard to coach, and usually that has a negative connotation. But when you have a team that's this talented, this committed, this professional, this competitive, this willing to sacrifice, that's the ultimate pressure on a coach, because you want to serve that, and they deserve that, and that's what gives me the most pride right now, is that, you know, I feel like I was able to do that for them because they deserved all of this. So that's really what I'm feeling right now.
Second row on the right.
Guilherme Sacco from ESPN Brazil. Coach, congratulations on the title.
Thank you.
I know that you didn't have the time to reflect about it, but you guys just went through one of the best final series ever, like in terms of basketball play. You are one of the brightest minds of basketball right now in the world. How did you see the whole series, like the level of basketball that you played, that Indiana played? How did you see the series going on?
I mean, I think it was great for the league and the product, for two small market teams that have never won a championship to have the type of series that we did. It was hard to appreciate that because it was just so hard in the moment. But you know, one thing I learned is, you know, you don't really. It's hard to get to your ceiling as a team in the playoffs when you're playing great teams over and over again. It's really about how high your floor is. And I thought was the mark of our team. I mean, you have to really grind it out, and it's an endurance race. And you have to be able to win in the mud. You have to be able to win ugly. You have to be able to gut it out. And that's what we did. You know, the team did an unbelievable job of that.
Valencia.
Valencia King, Real Talk Sports. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank
I'm going to circle back to a phrase I mentioned to you a few series ago. Be where your feet are. Both Shai and J-Dub said that. In 3 words, can you describe be where your feet are? How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think the team did a great job of that. I mean, we lost a tough game at Game 6. You know, we went there to win. You know, like we really felt good about that game, and we did not perform well. And you're coming into Game 7, anything can happen. And you know, I thought the team did a great job of just staying present in the game, even when, you know, we're down 1 at halftime. The game was not easy for either team, and I just thought the guys did an unbelievable job of rooting into the moment, trying to win the next possession, just let the game unfold the way it does. And the guys have done a great job of that all year. They did a great job of it tonight.
Michael Martin, Let's Talk Thunder. Mark, over the course of your tenure, you've talked about being 0-0, give or take 1,000 times. I wanted to ask, after winning a championship, can you acknowledge that you're 1-0?
Yeah, I mean, those are you got to have those themes, you know. And this team responds well to those things. If you put the right thing in front of them, they really take to it. And you know, I think that's the right thing. It's the right way to approach competition. But these guys bring it to life, you know, with the way they play. I mean, you could talk about it all you want, but it comes down to how you perform, and these guys perform like competitive monsters.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
This concludes it. All session in here for tonight. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.